Sorry I can't be there today. My back is still out and I cannot move, so I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible for you. So today you're going to finish up yesterday's research and get that done. Then you're going to look through my gallery of garments just to get creative ideas that placement of words and images doesn't always have to be just on the front. All right. But we do need to make sure that think about where you place things. All right. I know it's a little vulgar, but it gets its point across is that placement on a t-shirt is key, and making things bigger and brighter and having a little fun with it and a little creativity to bring people in. If it's boring, no one's going to look at it, right? So what's the point of trying to bring people to look at something if you are going to just keep it the same as every other t-shirt? All right. So here's your pretty traditional, right? Right here, right here, right here. But just think we're going to be having the ability to go to Tanner Closet and you can go and find something long sleeve, and you can put those words. I think the Nike one for me, and then think about sleeves, or pants, whatever it is that you guys find up in the Tanner Closet is up to you, but think about that. Okay. It doesn't always have to be right in the middle. But if you do it, then do it with some sort of variation. All right. Not just smack dab in the middle. All right, so let's get started then. Today, then the rest of you guys, so you'll look through that, and then you're going to look at what fonts are used in activism. All right, and I'll link that up right now for you. All right, and I thought this was really good because you can see, even if you don't speak the language, you can see that they're bigger, they're bolder, they're to get your attention. They're attention grammars, and they're not necessarily silly or cartooning. All right, and there's a whole list of 5 different pages that you can look and kind of get some more ideas for your t-shirts, right, or your garments. What grabs your attention? How is it grabbing your attention? Now remember, we're using heat transfer vinyl, so you really only get one color. These are all multiple colors for the most part. Obviously this one's not. We have a lot of different colors. You could use 2 colors. You just have to set each slide up to be the color that you want. It's not a big deal. Or you just tell me, or you just pick the color and tell me, Mrs. Fitz, this is what we need this color, and this is what we need this color. All right, so I'm going to throw this slide deck into Classroom, and I'm going to show you how this is a wrong example on how to design in Google Classroom. Each of the Cricut Machine slides or the pieces of vinyl are 12 inches by 12 inches. All right, so trying to fit a big quote like this onto 112 by 12, I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, I mean, a 12 by 12 is a pretty big spot, but you can always cut each of these words out individually and paste them. They don't have to be pasted as a sentence. You are not in language arts class. So the biggest thing is, what does this say? You need to use, multiple text boxes. Okay, this is all one text box, and that right away is not going to let you be a good designer. It's too limiting. All right, and then the font just looks really cartoony, right? It looks kind of like light and fluffy, like, oh, we're back in the 1960s, man. All right, that's not what we want. So number one, I would put all of, and you can make those a little smaller. I don't know why they're so big. I must have done something with it. Okay, you can just make those. All right, I put all of my words, and something like found in or together, can be traced, and of. They're all in different boxes. So right away, I can start having a little bit of fun. The only thing is I would find Control Z. I would design, obviously you want your number be the biggest. This is 12 inches by 12 inches. If we look over here, this 35 is going to be, this is 0. It's about 3.5 inches. So it should be the biggest one possible. And we can tweak it a little bit. Hopefully I'll be there tomorrow. So this could get cut out in all one color. All right. if you know that you're like, no, Mrs. Fitz, we really want our 35% to be huge, right? So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to throw it over here, and you're like, Mrs. Fitz, we want it to be double. Okay. So there we have it. Let's see. So now that is going to be ginormous. Okay. Let's not talk about the typeface right now, but just the scale of it. Okay. So then maybe we get everything designed on here. Oh, that just keeps moving. And then maybe oceans gets bigger. Once again, manually input a number. Don't sit there. Microplastics. And maybe we align that. Oops. Okay. And maybe we do this one really big. See if it'll fit on the page. Okay. So we want the statistic to be the biggest, right? So that's going to be a little small. Oh, I keep moving the wrong boxes, but you guys get it. I'm going to try to align everything. All right, I'm going to try to make the spacing look custom so it makes it look like I know what I'm doing as a graphic designer, that I looked at other, and that I'm not using a paragraph. Okay, can be traced, oceans, and maybe oceans gets bigger. You used to be able to just hold. That's like way too small. I'm going to 200. Okay, this typeface is still awful. All right, but I just want to kind of show you, maybe found in oceans goes over there, right? And it gets aligned with this C, and then maybe this all gets aligned over here, and then we cut this one out in, let's say, whatever color you choose, and then 35% will get its own slide. Okay, so if you want these words to be huge, you could put whatever you want on each slide, and then I'll cut them out with my heat transfer vinyl, and there you go. All right, so now let's talk about this. This is so cartoony. The nice thing is that I can rubber band select all of this, and I can change it. This is a super family. When you have an arrow here, it's really, really great because I could put all these at bold, but we don't want everything at bold because these words aren't as important. So then I could go here and I could do a light. And I'm not saying this is the perfect typeface for this, all right? But not everything can be the same, right? So if we make that set, 35% is going to be its own color. All right, and then let's drop this down to medium, and then we'll make it a little bit smaller so it fits on one line. Or you could also just pull the text box out. Okay, oops, I keep moving this stuff. So you just have to drag and drag. You have to figure it out, help each other. I know that, so you're gonna have to do this twice. You need to have a slide for each. So you need four, or you need to cut your statistic for your human cost, your social cost. You need to design one for your environmental cost, and then you need to have your hashtag for your campaign for both of them. All right. So this slide deck, I'll go ahead and duplicate it, and I'll put a ton in there. And then you guys need to just figure out what typefaces, how to really design this up. We're going to just use text for this. We're just going to use words and numbers and make sure that your statistics and those words really, 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 really get engaged with. Again, if you're like Mrs. Fitz, I want clothing and my percentage to be the same color. Then go ahead and put this. If these are both going to be the same color, all right, then they can be together on the same page, and then we'll just cut them out and we'll just align them. So if these are going to be, and you don't need to change the colors of this unless you want to help organize so you're like, okay, we're going to use blue heat transfer vinyl here. All right. Oh, sorry. Then you just know, okay, this is going to be blue. And then maybe you're like, okay, now this one's going to be green. This is kind of annoying a little bit. I would not do this on my Chromebook, my friends. All right, and then maybe you're like, okay, we like the glittery blue color that Mrs. Fitz has or something. I don't know. Those colors look horrible together, but you get it. All right. Do not work on your Chromebooks on this. Work collaboratively next to each other. Chromebooks are a pain in the butt. They're not going to be able to do what I just did on a desktop.